Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Mojo, I'm Editor Mojo, and this is my 2020 Tesla Model S Performance, and we're going to do a drive down the highway. Right at the start, you can see we don't start out all that great, but that's because the nav was bad. It wanted us to take a right into a neighborhood, which is completely closed. A lot of this area is brand new, so it's not really updated. Something that's interesting is we go into the left-right turn lane instead of the far right one, which I normally see driving through here. Not only that, but we move immediately into that far left lane because we'll be making a left at the second light forward. So this is not V11, as you could probably see. This is 10.69.25.2, but I am recording this so I have something to compare against once we do receive V11, once that's pushed out to everybody else. Now, I don't know which batch I'm going to be in. I'm definitely not in that first batch, but maybe I'll be in the second batch and not hopefully pushed all the way to the very end. So we're going to be going down the highway tonight actually. I'm recording this the next day, the voice the next day, but we'll be going down the highway to the very next exit and then turning around and coming back. So there's some really interesting things, especially because right here they're doing quite a bit of construction, and you'll see that in a moment. So we move over into the turn lane. Unfortunately, we do miss the turn light, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and sped this up, so we're not sitting here waiting for this this whole light for you to see that. Alright, now we have our green. There is nobody around me. It's about 10:30 at night, so there's no one around me, and even though the car is going pretty slow, I don't know why it's set to 30 here, I just let it continue to go. Usually, if I go onto the highway here, I do disengage, just because you can see it's a lot of construction, but you have two lanes that do merge into one, which sometimes from a zipper merge, I've noticed, especially with a lot of people around, it could be a little hair-raising. So I do like to do that if other people are around. So you can see we're now merging, we're sticking on that right side of the lane, but it's really interesting that the vehicles in the visualization almost lined up exactly. But here the merge lane is completely blocked off, so they have cones, and Beta actually stays in the shoulder. It doesn't try to move over, but we switch over here to NOA. Now, it started going the speed limit right here on the shoulder, and I didn't notice at the time that it was trying to go back over, but I was kind of worried because there were rocks and probably debris on that shoulder, so I disengaged and moved over to the left into the travel lane. So as we're moving here, going through here, there's something really interesting that happens. It actually flips into FSD Beta. I'm firmly on the highway. I'm not sure why it did this, but it just decided to do that. So let's go ahead and fast forward. Another thing that I've made sure to slow down was, you'll see a little flicker. I go from navigate in autopilot to TAC, and then back to navigate in autopilot. It's just me deleting the waypoint to where I'm going, so we can go ahead and just do one quick turnaround. So now as we take this exit, actually does that exit really well. This is where, as you can see, the green light was obscured, so Beta was waiting. But now that we do make that turn, we have a merge lane that does have a right turn, and that's not the way we need to go. We need to, stay into the main travel lanes. I tried to initiate FSD Beta immediately. It wasn't quite ready, but then I did, and we merge into the right turn lane to go ahead and get back on the highway. Steering wheel disengagement. So you'd hear me saying in the background that it was a steering wheel engagement. I like to keep those little voice notes in the video, just so I can remember in the future what has happened. And I'm not here to try to misrepresent FSD Beta and its capabilities. I just want to be honest. I want to make sure that, you know, those issues that FSD Beta does have are brought forward, do see the light of day, and are fixed in future versions. So here we'll be taking a right turn, but by now I do have a couple cars behind me. In the past, I've seen it be a little aggressive taking this right turn, even when the light is red, but here it decides to completely stop. And because I have some cars behind me, I decided to tap the accelerator, actually a couple times, so that we can, you know, not hold them up and we can get back onto the highway. Once again, that van almost lining up exactly with the visualization. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to try to, you know, get that visualization lined up with the real world a little bit more. So here, a very normal, it's actually a quite long merge lane here, so autopilot has a lot of time to move over into the actual travel lanes. So we go ahead and fast forward here. Now this is where we have some really strange issues. I've seen this in the past with autopilot. With all the construction that's happening and the GPS not quite lining up with the map data, it wants to go over and move to the left lane, which is absolutely incorrect. We want to take that next exit in 1 mile to the right. So, you know, I let it go this time around, but I do have that car, that truck behind me in that right lane, and they're speeding up. And you'll be able to see them here in a second, right there in the visualization. And there's a truck about to merge onto the highway, so I disengage real quick and I move over into that right lane manually, and as you can see here in a second, it wants to get back into that left lane, which is incorrect. So I disengage, I get past that truck, and I re-engage again. And if you look to the left where that dot is, that's where it expects that turn to be, you know, that exit to be, which, because of all the construction, is now forward quite a bit more. Maybe a quarter of a mile further along the road. But Beta doesn't know this. And it turns on its right turn lane and starts looking for that exit, which isn't there. So now as we get there, it kind of, you can't really tell in the video, but it actually jerks off to the right at the end, and takes that exit. I've had to disengage because it didn't seem like it was taking that exit. So as we exit off of the highway here and follow this the truck, Beta, I usually disengage here just because of all the construction, but I let it go. And as you can see here, it actually starts to slow down on its own for no reason, right? It's just not all that confident. So I tap the accelerator to get it moving. So now we'll be taking a left at this red light, which luckily turns green, you know, almost immediately, as we don't even have to stop here. Now this is another issue with the navigation. Right after we take a left, I'm thinking that's a glitch at the camera, and you'll see why in a second. The camera moving around just a bit. But we need to take, based on my navigation route, we actually need to take a left at this light. And this is, I don't even know who Tesla's map provider is, because I've tried to update them all and make sure that they know that this you can make a left here, but it still wants us to do a U-turn. Normally I disengage and make this left, but now we have our right turn signal on for some reason. No clue why. But the navigation wants us to take a U-turn right here. So remember that little glitch in the camera a second ago? Yeah, my interior camera overheated and died. So what I did was I went and dropped off the visualization, or sorry, dropped off the front-facing view here. And what we're doing though is we are doing a U-turn. Normally, and we've seen others, it happens every once in a while, but here I did not touch the accelerator. It did the U-turn on its own. It wasn't really happy, but it actually did it. So now we're making a right turn. Now the problem with this right turn is we actually need to make the next right turn. And Beta was quite confused about this. And it's not really sure where it needs to go, what it needs to do. It is very, very confused. But now I have a car that's behind me. So what I do is I just press the accelerator to get forward, just because I don't want to hold them up. I want to be, I want to make sure that I don't hold anybody up. I don't cause any issues or problems with other people on the road. So we're just about done here. We need to make a left. Beta's making a right, left, not really sure which way it needs to go, and finally does make that left turn. Now to get where we started, we need to make a right, and as you can see, Beta's not really sure what it needs to do. We do have our creep network. It does have the right turn signal on, left turn signal on, and I eventually disengage. I'm kind of frustrated with Beta at this point. But we're finished. So thanks so much for watching. You could have been anywhere on the internet right now, but you spent a couple minutes with me and FSD Beta, and I thank you. Tesla Mojo, out.